This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. New Jeep Gladiators receive 20% off now at Cars Plus. Named the best vehicle for adventure in 2024. Get your Jeep Gladiator today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
It's not a game that we're playing here, and if individuals are playing this kind of game election after election, I think we need to expose it for what it is.
Signatures on multiple candidate packets are raising eyebrows over at the Guam Election Commission, what this means for this year's race.
If you see that label, I mean, at least you know and you're aware that what the content has,
A local influencer sounds off on the proposed warning labels by the U.S. Surgeon General for social media platforms. I'm Katie Azon with the story tonight and what this could mean for youngsters.
With just weeks left before their permanent closure, Hyatt Regency Saipan invites the community for a walk down memory lane. I'm Tomas Manglonia with the full story coming up.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado. New tonight, Guam police investigators have identified the woman killed after being hit by a car in Dededo last Friday. Investigators confirming she was 32-year-old Flora Jean Takenko Lujan. Police say Lujan is from Dededo. The crash happened just last Friday after 8:30 p.m. when Lujan was crossing Route 16 near American Bakery. The driver of a SUV took off from the scene but later turned himself over to authorities. Her death, which marks the fourth traffic-related one this year, remains under investigation. Certain candidates could be investigated ahead of the August 3rd primary, but the names of those candidates are not yet being made public. An undisclosed amount of candidates running for public office submitted signatures in their packets that appeared suspicious. As KUAM reported, the Guam Election Commission announced the issue last month. The candidates have since been certified and placed on the August 3rd primary ballot. On Tuesday night, the GEC had scheduled to discuss the issue so the investigation could make its way to the Attorney General's office. But 3 commissioners were not able to attend, forcing them to table it again for the next meeting.
It's a serious allegation that deserves the attention of, the whole commission. I mean, we do this when we elect chair and vice chair. And I think considering this is a very serious matter, I would like both parties here and the independent commissioner to give full weight and discussion to this.
Right. Yeah, I agree. This is a serious issue, and if it's been going on not just in this upcoming election but in previous, I think we need to.
We're getting really close to the election.
Well, I mean, it really doesn't have a timeline because all the candidates have been certified.
So we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact is an after fact, but the seriousness of the issue and the allegation, I think, needs to be on forefront, and we need to put this out. It's not a game that we're playing here, and if individuals are playing this kind of game election after election, I think we need to expose it for what it is. So I agree. I think all the commissioners should be present to give their input before we decide to do anything or submit this to the Attorney General's office.
The GEC plans to discuss it at next month's meeting and warned candidates that they are taking this matter seriously. No word yet when the names of the candidates with suspicious signatures will be released to the public. The sample ballots are out for each voting district ahead of the August 3rd primary race. The Guam Election Commission reviewing the ballot during Tuesday's meeting. Off-island ballots, also known as Uhukava ballots, were also mailed out to voters today. You can view the sample ballots for the primary in your district by visiting KUAM.com. Tonight on The Hub, KUAM begins the first round of interviews with the candidates hoping to take a seat in the 38th Guam legislature. Immediately after primetime, watch incumbents William Parkinson, Crystal Waynes, and Josen Augustine, and newcomer Vince Borja answer questions from your news team and from you, the voters. The Hub airs each Wednesday following primetime. The U.S. Surgeon General sounding the alarm about the mental health risk of social media for children. KUAM intern Katie Azon has the story and input from a local social media influencer.
A quick click or a swipe on social media could become difficult for children to do on popular platforms. U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy is urging Congress to take action. He wants warning labels added to social media in hopes of promoting a safer space for children. The demands for Congress to take stricter measures emerged after Murthy submitted an article to the New York Times calling an emergency. This in response to the increasing teen mental health crisis as a result of using social media. Murthy adding using social media so young can lead to severe mental health issues.
When adolescents spend more than 3 hours a day on social media, we're seeing an association with a doubling of risk of anxiety and depression symptoms.
Community members sounded off back in January when social media giants went before Congress to testify in online exploitation of children.
I mean, I have my nieces and nephews, and technology is readily available for everyone, including those who are under the age of 10.
Local influencer Mama Shar is very active on social media. He supports efforts to protect children from the danger circulating online, adding children can even be exposed to videos that are inappropriate.
I mean, I have my 6-year-old who's literally watching YouTube, and sadly, there's a lot of things on YouTube now that aren't safe for children now.
Shar also saying it's about knowing what your children are doing online.
Hey, there's only so much we can do. You know, they're gonna find out eventually. So I guess it's all about awareness, and I feel like that makes sense to put labels. Nothing wrong with it as long as it doesn't ruin the experience.
Meantime, the Surgeon General recommends phone-free zones at school and at home during meals, bedtime, and social gatherings. And kids should not have access to social media until after middle school. I'm Katie Azon for KUAM News.
Zero tolerance policy when it comes to drugs, that's according to the top brass. With that being said, an officer who tested positive for meth in April remains with GPDs. Jonah Gacharfris has more.
That case is still under investigation.
That is Police Chief Stephen Ignacio responding to Senator Chris Barnett's inquiry if the officer who tested positive for meth at the Southern Precinct in April after a glass pipe was found in one of the patrol vehicles was still with the department. Although Ignacio did say GPD has a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to drugs.
The policy of the Guam Police Department is you test positive for drugs and a TDP, then you're out.
Generally.
However, according to Ignacio, there are exceptions to the policy.
If it's maybe a controlled substance that is a prescription,
okay,
right? So like painkillers, back painkillers or whatever, things like that.
As KUM reported, a second officer also assigned to Southern Precinct popped positive during a random drug testing on May 15th. That officer has been placed on paid leave while an internal affairs investigation is conducted. Ignacio unable to confirm what drug the officer tested positive for and if the two cases are related. We should note that for the drug testing, over 75% of uniformed personnel and test-designated positions were randomly selected. Despite concern from lawmakers.
So as long as we keep a random drug sweep and random drug testing, I think that'll remind the officers that, they have a duty not to become users of illegal substances.
Jonah Gacharfris, KUAM News.
Guam welcomes the USS Ronald Reagan, sailors ready to get some downtime and give back to the community. Some of them are even returning Guam residents.
And it's year 11 for the Electronic Island Festival. We get the deets and all you need to know to rave out this weekend in Hagåtña.
they keep the smile on your face, the moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me, you can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Welcome to Kmart, your 24-hour superstore since 1995. Always there for you day or night. At Kmart, we're committed to offering you an extensive selection of products at prices you won't find anywhere else. From the essential to the exceptional, our aisles are alive with possibility. Bloom with confidence, style, and savings this spring. Discover stylish clothing that fits your budget without compromising on quality. From trendy pieces to timeless classics, find the perfect look for every member of your family without spending a fortune. Then pamper yourself with our selection of essentials, from nourishing shampoos to rejuvenating beauty products and soaps. And let imagination soar with our selection of toys and games for kids of all ages. At Kmart, experience the thrill of discovery as you explore our aisles, filled with a variety of quality products that cater to your every need. From groceries to home goods to outdoor essentials, we are the ultimate one-stop shop. Dive into an unparalleled shopping experience where quality, variety, and savings await at every turn. Shop smart, save big at Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
The innovation you've been waiting for is here. Built on the 16X Cheez-It platform, it's the first flavor matrix stable enough to make a Cheez-It tostada possible, and cheesy enough to power the Crunch Wrap. Because if you want to change the world, you have to bring something big to the table. Think big.
Welcome back to Prime Time. It's been 2 years since its last visit to Guam. The USS Ronald Reagan docking on Guam shores today with thousands of sailors aboard, among them Guam natives, eager to be home and reunited with their loved ones. Destiny Cruz got to see the excitement close up on Naval Base Guam, capturing the heartfelt reunion between one U.S. Navy sailor and his family.
Facing the great expanse of ocean, countless miles, and the demands of duty, it's love anchored on Guam shores, keeping one U.S. Navy sailor and his family afloat. On Naval Base today, the loved ones of Sailor Jacob Sellis eagerly watch as the brows to the USS Ronald Reagan are assembled, bridging a homecoming after 6 long months apart. Kathy Babauta is the picture of a proud grandmother.
Well, this is our first grandson, so we're so excited.
And wife Crystal Sellis beaming at the thought of seeing her new husband. The newly married couple getting to see each other ahead of their first anniversary.
I'm feeling nervous and excited at the same time. Yeah.
KUAM capturing the moment the culmination of that excitement, support, and patience pays off.
I was just nervous, like my heart started racing and stuff. I haven't seen them for a while, so it's good to see them again. It feels good because I came back at the right time, so it's a really good thing.
Sellis joins several other Guam-born sailors aboard the USS Ronald Reagan visiting home this port visit. Service members will also participate in community service projects while here. The aircraft carrier departed from Japan in May after forward deployment to Yokosuka for 9 years. It will return to the mainland U.S. for maintenance and will be replaced by the USS George Washington as America's forward deployed aircraft carrier.
Again, that's our Destiny Cruz reporting. A note to the public from Guam Police Department, a safety alert issued for residents and visitors as authorities expect an influx in both pedestrians and traffic in the Tumon-Tumuning area during that 3-day port visit. A command center also being set up at the USO Dusit Beach Resort, offering support during the visit. Take one last walk down memory lane at the Hyatt Regency Saipan. The CNMI Hotel is closing at the end of the month and set up a mini museum to reflect on their more than 4 decades on Saipan. Regional correspondent Mas Menglotnya reports.
Photos in black and white, images in full color, and flyers from the 1980s all in one room, capturing the more than 4 decades of Hyatt history on Saipan.
Hyatt Regency Saipan is the first international hotel in the CNMI, and that in itself speaks tons of accomplishment. It has started or revolutionized the hospitality industry here in the CNMI.
Bea O'Malley is the marketing and communications manager. She said the hotel welcomes the community for one last walk down memory lane in a mini museum open to the public every day from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at their lobby before they permanently close their doors on June 30.
We would like to invite everyone, our guests, community members, to come and see how Hyatt Regency Saipan evolved throughout the years. It highlights all our journey, Hyatt Regency Saipan's era, and guests can also take a peek of the people, the men and women who have worked here since the beginning and until today.
Their closure is a sign of the times in a sinking island economy, with nowhere near the number of visitor arrivals needed to simply break even. The hotel is already putting up a fence around the entire building. Staff have already made plans to transition to other hotels or different jobs. It's unclear what the future of the public property will be since it signed a 40-year lease renewal in 2021. The hotel has already shuttered most of its restaurants and services in its final weeks.
Hyatt Regency Saipan is also known to connect with guests through memorable goodbyes. So that is the Hyatt touch. And that is the kind of memory and good experience that we want to be remembered by.
Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Happy Juneteenth to all those celebrating out there. For many of us, it's a federal holiday, but June 19th is an incredibly important and historic day for the African American community. KUAM intern Shauna Murato joins us in studio to discuss how Guam celebrated.
The day marks the anniversary of when General Gordon Granger read aloud to the people of Texas the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring freedom for all enslaved people in the U.S. It has become known as Juneteenth and has been celebrated for many years, including right here on Guam. Take a look at some images being shared. Naval Hospital Guam doing a 2.5-mile walk at Aston Beach. On Andersen Air Force Base, the Afrocentric Culture Committee hosted a Juneteenth cookout. Team Anderson booster clubs and members came together to play games, listen to music, and enjoy food while fostering a sense of community in honor of Juneteenth. And like many businesses and organizations who joined the celebration, Humanities Guahan posted this, saying, "This week we honor Juneteenth, a powerful reminder of the journey towards the ongoing fight for collective liberation. Our stories are interconnected, reminding us that true freedom is a collective effort. We invite you to commit to building a future where liberation, justice, and equality are a reality for all." The day was officially established as a federal holiday by Joe Biden in 2021. Also known as Jubilee Day or Black Independence Day, this holiday serves as an opportunity for the education of younger generations on the adversity and strength of their ancestors. For now, I'm Shauna Murato reporting for KUAM.
The artwork is up and ready for the public. The return of the Guam art exhibit starts tomorrow, June 20th. You can all catch it, the creative work, at the Deuced Place, formerly the Plaza Shopping Center that's located next to the IHOP in Tumon. GACS Now will officially open its doors tomorrow night. This year's exhibit will highlight the great community of artists that set the foundation for GACS while paving the way for new and emerging creatives. The showcase will run through the end of the month. You can also see more on the exhibit at KUAM News Instagram page. It's a time of the year where you deserve to let loose. That's according to EAF coordinator Gia Wang. This Saturday, the place to be is in the heart of Agutnia for the 11th season of the Electric Island Festival. Jonah Goncharfris has more.
Although the Electric Island Festival usually happens in June, things like the COVID pandemic and Typhoon Mawar pushed back the event. But this year, coordinator Gia Wang is feeling pretty good.
The fact that we're bringing it back in June during a time where it's peak summer, where a lot of the kids from the States, island kids from the States are back from college visiting, as well as Pride Month as well. So all of that combined together, it really makes what EIF is, good vibe, good energy, good fun.
Guam's premier electronic music festival since 2013 has a lineup that is going to be very interesting.
Making sure that it aligns with where a lot of people from Guam who are into the scene, can actually follow. So I think one thing that we're going to make it that we have challenged ourselves is that instead of just putting on a stage and just having a bar and all of that, we're really looking to spruce up the venue. There's a lot of trees over here, so we're planning on putting a lot of uplights to really make this place look vibrant, along with really cool activities and engagements that we're planning with the vendors.
In the past, EIF has been held at the Guam Raceway Park and even Paseo. So why the Plaza de España this year?
This venue is beautiful. It's always been our dream and goal to actually do EIF on grass, on turf. And so we just feel like the setting, the parking, and just the whole flow of this place is just really, really special.
You can get your tickets on guamtime.net or...
We are selling tickets at Hilton during our pop-up from Wednesday to Friday, 1 to 7 p.m. You can purchase them by cash at a small discount.
And for all of you that are still on the fence about checking it out...
Life is hard, right? We all have to work so hard, we all have the responsibilities, and what EIF is a platform for people to come and let loose, right? We're not asking you or telling you to party every weekend, but I think once a year, everybody deserves it.
Celebrate at EIF. Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured from a Tapang beach in Tumon.
Lonely in the sky, taste of tuba, open in my eyes, country road, take me home to the place.
When my career in 1999 took me off of Guam, I wanted to go and learn more. I wanted to gain more experience. I was able to operate at the highest levels of Washington, D.C. I was a Deputy Assistant Secretary at Housing and Urban Development. I was the Deputy Inspector General for Iraq Reconstruction, reporting to a Secretary of Defense, a Secretary of State, and 8 committees of Congress, both the Senate and the House side. Guam is how I got there. I was able to succeed because of everything that I learned. But I was always going to come home to bring that experience, to bring that back to Guam so that I could do something that made a difference. I'm Ginger Cruz, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad.
You think KFC's new pizza isn't pizza because it's made with crispy fried chicken? You think the marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni aren't enough? Well, you're right. It's not pizza. It's chizza. Only at KFC.
Introducing GTA Fiber. We're bringing our fiber connection from the neighborhood all the way to your home. Now you can get lightning fast speed of up to 1 gig and take your streaming, downloading, or gaming to the next level. Plus, you get our next-gen Plume Wi-Fi, so you can experience all that speed throughout your home, built on Guam's most reliable network. Visit gta.net to see if fiber is available in your area. GTA Fiber. Nothing beats fiber.
This is a bag. But for Steve, this bag gives him food cred. Because now everyone knows that when they have that craving, or they're just looking for the perfect deal, well, they just need to follow Steve.
Follow him all the way to the new McTerry Deluxe at McDonald's. It's an all-beef patty smothered with teriyaki sauce topped with lettuce and tomato on a sesame seed bun. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
Okay, everybody, there is a specific reason why we call Talafofo God's country, and lovingly so. Make a joyful noise, as the good book says, because down in the south, they're going to be hosting the Micronesian Music Festival. It's on the 27th of July at the Valley of the Lati. It is amazing. Check this out. Patrick Palomo, the Trade Winds, Jonah Hanum, Trey Cunningham, many, many more. They are going to fill the southern village with the sounds of their gift. Amazing music. Make sure to go check it out. Starts at 9 in the morning. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance and Hita Litexen are presenting a wonderful art exhibition. It's Tanay Animu, celebrating indigenous art and native land stewardship. It's on July 13th from 3 to 7 at the Guam Museum Gallery. Not to be missed. And if you're in Saipan, there is going to be a proclamation signing. Gotta love those proclamation signings. That happens on the 21st. Hey, that's Liberation Day. To proclaim Sinamay Nurses Week, June 21st, I should say. Sinamay Nurses Week. Celebrate our nurses on Guam and up in the Sinamay. That's what's happening all around Guam. And it's our place.
Time now for birthday wishes. Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts, which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday, and this is a very special birthday shout out on this 19th of June, a Wednesday. Kaylee Cameron, your grandmother, says, I would like to wish my beloved granddaughter a happy belated 10th birthday. Kaylee, we hope you enjoy your special day, and your family says, sincerely, we love you. Kaylee, from all of us here at KUN and Cold Stone Creamery, we hope you had a fantastic birthday as well.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. Get out there and register to vote. And on August 3rd, show up to the polls. Your livelihood depends on it, period. Hafaday and welcome to the Hub. I'm Nick Delgado. 25 candidates are running to be your senator in the 38th Guam legislature. Only 15 will make it to lead. Their fates rest with you, the voters. For the next few weeks leading up to the primary, we will hear from those candidates. Tonight, we've got on the Democrat ballot incumbents Josen Augustine and William Parkinson. And under the Republican ballot, we have incumbent Chris Duenas and newcomer Vince Borja. Hafaday, gentlemen. Hafaday. Candidate William Payne was scheduled to join us tonight, but was unable to attend. So let's get to it. For the first round, each candidate gets 60 seconds to speak to the voters, tell them a little bit about each of you. But first, a viral video recently circulated showing responding Guam police officers, one kicking a detained suspect on the ground while another tasering him, sparking claims of police brutality. You can see right there on the screen. The chief of police says the case is being investigated. But now I want to speak to each of you, give you at least about 10 seconds after seeing that video to give your take as candidates on the case. And I'll let you guys choose who goes first. All right, 10 seconds on the clock, and we'll start with Senator Parkinson.
I am stridently against all forms of police brutality, especially after somebody has been detained and arrested. It is our responsibility to maintain their welfare.
Thank you.
You know, it's sad sometimes when one or a couple of officers can make it, hard on all the rest of the hardworking officers. We have a crime problem on Guam, but there's no excuse for abusing anyone who's being detained. And it's too bad because most of the cops are great servants.
Thank you.
I mean, I share the same sentiments. You know, it's definitely not something that shouldn't be tolerated, and we'll leave that up to the leadership to conduct a thorough investigation and hold those accountable.
Appreciate it.
As a former police officer, that's not an acceptable practice, and it shouldn't be tolerated, and I'll allow the chief of police to conduct his investigation.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your responses to that. That is our icebreaker for the start of the show. Now to what the voters need to hear, your introductions. Each of you, again, getting 60 seconds here to talk to the voters. And since we started with Senator Parkinson, we'll start with you, Senator Duenas.
Thank you very much. Half a day to the dear people of Guam. My name is Christopher Michael Duenas. I hail from the village of Sinahanya, and I was originally living in Tamuning. You know, this is my 4th term in the Guam legislature, and I'm asking once again for you to consider me in the 38th Guam legislature. I've concentrated on affordable housing. I've concentrated on getting more money to education. This year, $30 million appropriation to our education system. For our hospital, I've worked with our colleagues, a couple of them sitting here, to make sure we got an additional $30 million to the hospital to bail them out of vendor payments, to make sure a hospital can be sound until we can build a new one. I've introduced a bill to make sure that we can, once and for all, bring multi-agency unified law enforcement individuals to fight the ICE epidemic and make Guam safe again. I'm asking you once again for your consideration. Please help me. I concentrate on public safety, education, and healthcare, and I will continue to do that as your senator.
Thank you. That's your time. Senator San Augustine.
I'm Joe S. San Augustine. I'm from the village of Jigu. I'm married to Joanne Joyce Chargloff from Santa Rita. We have 3 kids. We have 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. And as far as this would be my 5th term, and I hope to continue to promote fiduciary responsibility to all my colleagues and for the people of Guam. And with that note, I've introduced many bills, and as you see, it talked about all about being accountable, and also expressing my slogan. It's not about the easy way, but the right way. Thank you.
Okay. Vince?
Hafade Guam, my name is Vince Borja. I come from the village of Manila, but I live in Barragata with my wife, Naomi Mendiola Nkenko. I'm an Army veteran. I'm an educator. I'm a small business owner, but more importantly, I'm a son of Guam. You know, I left Guam right after high school to join the military, but I came home to be a part of the community, and I got my degree at the University of Guam. I'm still here, and you know, as much as a lot of my family members have left, I love Guam, I love our home, I love our people, and I'm ready to serve. And so I hope you give me an opportunity to serve you in the Guam legislature. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your introductions. Senator Parkinson.
Half a day to the people of Guam. My name is Senator William Parkinson. I'm number 1 on the Democratic side of the ballot, and I'm asking for your vote for re-election. I'm the son of former Speaker Don Parkinson. I was raised here on Guam, went to GW, public school all the way, and when I graduated, I went to the States to become a firefighter. But life took me in a different path and called me back to Guam to take care of my family and take care of my father and run a small business here. Once I saw how difficult things were for so many people just trying to live paycheck to paycheck, I came back home and decided that it was time for me to run for public office. And you gave me an opportunity, and I used my time to put money into people's pockets to help fight the cost of living. One of my key bills was the power credits for 9 months. And so if you elect me as your senator, I hope to continue to fight that cost of living for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to the voters and telling them a little bit about you. But for now, your Decision 2024 election show continues with more questions for the candidates after this break. You're watching The Hub.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
More than 174,000 people call Guam home, and thousands more still know it to be home even if they've since relocated. Welcome back to your Decision 2024 election show, The Hub. Now, each candidate will be given 30 seconds each to answer a question in this round. So let's get to it, and we'll start now with Senator San Augustine for this first question. The question is, agencies like the Guam Police Department continue to train new bodies. Then those officers decide they want to work elsewhere for better pay or other reasons. Do you think that retention pay for local law enforcement is enough? And what do you propose is needed to keep officers from leaving? Again, 30 seconds.
Well, just recently, we just had the Guam Police Department's budget hearing, and they discussed the 25.9% pay increase. And that I'm in support of. Number one, and that says an adjustment to their pay raise that they had 3 years ago. Now, let's just continue to pay them more because a lot of them are leaving for the reasons of pay. It's not about the condition, it's the pay. And with that, I support their pay increase.
Okay. Vince?
I share the same sentiment. I agree with the pay raise. I know many friends and family members who have left the police force to join the federal police, and as the military buildup continues to grow and expand, we're definitely going to have to be competitive. But we just have to be careful because then it just opens up the Pandora box to other areas within the government and ensuring that there's equitable pay amongst all the agencies.
Okay. Senator Parkinson.
I too have to echo the sentiments of the other panel members up here. I too agree with the pay raises, not just because it's good for our local economy, but we have to compete not just with other jurisdictions, but with the federal government as well. And they have some very, very deep pockets. And there are labor shortages all over the country. And so we got to do this to compete and to keep our people.
Senator Duenas.
So, Nick, from time to time, every time we have our hearings with the chief of police, it always comes down to pay in order to retain our individual officers. And the biggest reason is because of the fact that the federal government is so attractive right now. Up on Anderson with the build-up all over the Navy base and even beyond. It really is, it's really, really competitive now to try to keep our officers. We're not going to be able to afford to give them pay all the time. I support the pay raises that we're putting out right now. So we're going to have to go beyond that. I'm working on a benefits package as well. I've met with several officers, and retention will be all about benefits as well. But it's got to be subject to the officers.
Thank you. That's your time. Thank you all for those responses, candidates. And the second question now, budgeting how we spend taxpayers' money is a yearly thing, like we're currently going over the Balancing Act as we speak. But how would you advocate for increased funding for critical services such as sanitary inspections for public schools, hotels, and restaurants? And please explain. I'll start with you, Vince.
You know, one of the things that I was looking into when I decided to run again was looking into a public-private partnership in offering tax incentives for businesses to fund maintenance program, maintenance and upkeep programs within the Department of Education. But definitely, you know, we understand there's a lot of money around, you know, coming in with the military buildup. But really, you know, now's the time to look at what and how we can sustain operations for the long run.
Okay, Senator Parkinson.
I think in situations like this, rather than leaning on public-private partnerships, we actually have to roll the hard six in terms of doing the hard work of budgeting these agencies that are supposed to be doing these jobs and actually make sure that they do them. You know, right now we have skeleton crews on some of these agencies just to have the agency, but those agencies aren't actually effective. And so, you know, we got to do the hard work, because public-private partnerships are great when times are easy, but when they're problematic, they're very problematic. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Duenas.
Great question for the budget season. So our chairman's sitting here, and I'm hoping that in this budget season now, we've had this unprecedented amount of surpluses, and they're going to good causes right now. But I think it's time to revisit once again and make sure we go back to the priorities like you mentioned. Public health and making sure that these sanitary inspections are done and funded. Education has asked for their money. We need to give it to them. UOG has asked for additional revenue. So I think right now we have to base ourselves on what projections are coming in and start with public safety, healthcare, and education, and then everything else from there. But now we got to start fixing these costs.
Okay. Senator St. Augustine.
Nick, I want to ask you to ask that question one more time, just so I make sure I got it clear, because as I'm hearing the response, I'm kind of like wondering, what was the real question you asked?
Would you advocate for increased funding for critical services, such as sanitary inspections for public schools, hotels, and restaurants?
I would advocate for increased funding for the agencies that need the funding. Number one, we got to take a look at what are they spending the money they got to begin with. Number one, we're not only having them have general fund, but they have access to federal grants that provide the funding they need. DOE, for example, has additional $40-some million. Public health is 163. So we need to ask the question, where are they spending the money, and is it being used accordingly?
Thank you. That's your time. Thank you, gentlemen, for this round. Keep it locked here to your Decision 2024 election show. Time for another break. This is The Hub.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping: pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Hit by a pandemic, then battered by a Category 4 storm, Guam has been in recovery mode nearly half a decade. Welcome back to your Decision 2024 show, The Hub. Candidates, you each will now get 30 seconds this round to answer after hearing a question from one of the members of our community. In this part of The Hub, we call it What We Want.
Janela Cruz, and if I could ask a question to a candidate, it would be how soon can they help to bring or get the schools, back on track for the next school year. Yeah, just that. Just for my kids and my grandkids, pretty much. That's all.
All right, so we'll start with Senator Parkinson for this one.
Thank you for that question. One of the things I'm looking at is we have this problem with procurement in the schools, but we have problems with procurement everywhere. So what I'm looking at is if we have problems with procurement everywhere, maybe procurement is the problem and not these individual places that are having problems with procurement. So I would actually look to, I mean, it's not a really sexy answer, but I would look to doing procurement reform to fix a lot of these institutional problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Duenas.
Yeah, I got to piggyback on that as well. I think this procurement situation, because we know now, Nick, hasn't been a money problem. We've had hundreds of millions of dollars ARP funding, but it's not moving. The other thing is she talked about preparing the schools. I think we need to work closer with the executive agencies and utilize every hand on deck that we can to work over the summer to get these schools ready, particularly with public health, to make sure these sanitary permits are at the top of the level, because that drives everything that happens in the schools. If they've got their sanitary permit, that means they're ready to open and serve our children.
Thank you. Senator San Augustine.
What we would do to fix the schools, number one, what was very disappointing is what during the COVID, there was 2 years the schools were closed and they received the ARP money. They should have fixed the schools then. Right now, all we're doing is doing catch up. That's something that we need to put that in the forefront, and as we went through their budget, we intend to make sure and demand that they account for the schools being open on time.
Okay.
You know, they said pretty much everything that probably we should be doing, and obviously procurement is a big thing. Like, you know, one of the former speakers said in regards to really looking at the process and looking at what we can do to streamline, you know, what it takes to get procurement done in the government, but also looking at what the maintenance plans look like in the long term, and I think that's where we should focus.
Okay, let's get to another question now from one of our voters.
I'm Demi Shimizu, and I'm from Ipan, Talafofo. And I wanted to ask, what will you guys do to protect us or prevent us from any cyber threats in the future?
There you go, Senator San Augustine. I know you're excited for this question.
For the cyber threat, right now, that's a big issue in our body right now. And we're promoting that to every agency to make sure that there's funding identified to protect, all the cyber threats. And with that, we just got to wait and let the system work its way, because if we expect it to be protected today, we got to make sure they're prepared to move on tomorrow.
Okay. Vince?
So, with cyber threat, I think the biggest thing is education. The legislature is doing, I know there has been a lot of programs that have come out with the executive branch and the legislature with looking at how to address the cyber threat in the region because of China. But I also think that we need to look at the curriculum, and not just in the public schools, but even within the colleges, and look at expanding our cybersecurity program.
Okay. Senator Parkinson?
When I'm looking at this problem, there's two areas I think we need to tackle at, because this is very important, especially in the GPA space, where we got to protect our electricity infrastructure from cyber threats. One is we have to make sure that our equipment is up to snuff to deal with these threats, have the proper computers, the proper firewalls, the proper equipment, the software to prevent these things from happening. And two is proper training so that the people using these machines aren't making the mistakes themselves, so we don't have human error playing a part as well. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm sure the voters were listening in because they did want to know those specific questions. So thank you for those responses. Let's go now to Senator Duenas.
Thank you, Nick. I didn't want to miss out on this. I didn't want to miss out on this.
Let's give you your 30 seconds.
Yeah, Nick, the thing is Office of Technology, OTEC, is really at the center of this. And the biggest thing that I see that I'd like to see more of is the operation between OTEC and the Fusion Center. Guam now has a Fusion Center, which takes all federal and local law enforcement, and this is one of their primary responsibilities. I think also uniformity. I've heard from different agencies, and I've heard, one of the major issues is what equipment, what safety measures are they putting in? Some got really, really robust capabilities, and others are lacking behind. So I think we need to unify the system.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for your responses. Well, let's keep the energy up and the questions coming. These candidates get a final round here on the Hub when we return.
KFC's new cheetah pizza?
Fried chicken? That's not pizza.
That's right. It's not pizza. It's cheetah. Only at KFC.
Elected to make and change laws that govern what you do. This is your Decision 2024 election show, The Hub. We want to thank the candidates for joining us today. Let's get to another question. And again, candidates, 30 seconds each to respond to this question. June is Pride Month, a time to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community and equality for all. But even in 2024 and on an island that's known to show love, hate still circulates each time this month in our community. As someone who wants to lead this island, how do you plan to further the fight for equality, no matter gay or straight? I think we're starting with you, Vince.
I think, you know, the biggest thing that we obviously need to start with is within our schools. With our community and in our schools, and ensuring that, because it starts with with our younger generation, and then of course working with the community and the organizations. I know there was the new organization that just got stood up, or that just started, and working with them and partnering with the business community and the government as well, to ensure that people are treated equally and they feel safe and that they're protected within our community.
Thank you. Senator Parkinson.
I think the best way to really help these communities out and really to help the island adjust is to just be the change that you want to be. You know, normalize this, be part of them, treat your LGBT neighbors with respect and as human beings, and just be the example other people could look up to. Because if I'm out here treating them like normal human beings, other people will see that and treat them the same way. And we should all treat each other with love and respect and kindness and compassion. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Duenas.
You know, hate in any format is just terrible. But hating an individual for who they are, and understanding that love conquers all. I just really hope at some point, and this is not legislation, this is who we are, right? That we go back to our anaphemalic spirit, that we go back and remember. You know, a lot of people that come to Guam don't see some of the things that are internal to us. You know, they see still a remnant of when we're so, we're a community that loves each other and tries to help each other. We're losing that, and as examples, we need to start showing that still exists with us and our families.
Thank you. Senator Augustine.
We need to first, number one, practice equality. Everybody deserves everything everybody else gets, LGBT or not. You have to remember, Nick, on my first term, I introduced a bill to protect the LGBT when they need to, they have the universal restrooms. And I was struck down by folks that were even part of that group. And today, I am fully in support of the LGBT, and I treat everybody equal. Everybody needs to be treated the same way. I retired from the Army fighting for the freedom that we all enjoy today.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for your responses. Now, candidates, it's your time to shine. Each of you will now get a final 60 seconds here on the Hub to speak to the voters. So let's make it count. And I think I'll start with Senator Duenas.
Thank you, Nick, and to the people of Guam. You know, my slogan is focused, balanced, and ready. And the reason why I do that, and I've adopted that, was because I think as a senator, you need to focus. But you also need to make sure that you have a balanced point of view and understand the way that everybody thinks when you come to a final decision. And ready, if God, always be ready to serve. What I loved about this segment the most was listening to the people and the questions that were brought to us. You can see that the people are concentrating on education. They're concentrating on public safety. They're asking us what we're going to do to secure our island and make sure cybersecurity is at the top of our mind as well, from threats abroad and internally. I will be that senator that will continue to fight for those issues. I will be that senator that takes my record of accomplishment now going forward to continue working on those items. A balanced budget and getting you the priorities funded is what I think you're asking for. We had unprecedented millions of dollars. It's time to spend them on priorities. And as my friend said over here, let's get as much federal dollars as well. Thank you very much. I'm Senator Chris Duenas, and I ask once again for your vote of confidence to the 38th Guam Legislature.
Thank you, Senator Duenas. Senator St. Augustine.
All right, thank you, Nick. I'm number 6 on the ballot. Folks, I've always stressed the fiduciary responsibility that we must maintain in the legislature. And I hope that all the incoming, whoever makes it on this election in November, has that focus. Because number one, yes, we've had unprecedented surplus of money. But you have to remember that the reason why we have a surplus is because we've been very conservative. And being conservative, we made sure that we didn't make the government overspend or think they have a lot of money. And what's the end result? Everybody has benefit from this surplus. And we got to make sure that we maintain our fiduciary responsibility. Everybody wins. Everybody's been winning. But at the same time, like my colleague has brought up, we need to keep reaching out to the federal government because there's hundreds of millions of dollars out there that hasn't been tapped. We need to reach out and grab that money because you know what? Federal money, they make the money. We just need to be able to spend it all. Thank you.
Thank you. Vince?
Thank you, KUAM, and thank you to the people of Guam for the opportunity. Again, my name is Vince Borja. I'm running as a Republican. You know, over the course of my life, the one thing that I've always done as an adult is work to serve others. I served in the military. I served, I'm in a couple of nonprofit organizations serving in the community to help veterans. I'm an educator. I do a lot of youth coaching to help develop our youth in the middle schools and in the community. And I want to continue to serve the people of Guam. I'm here and I'm asking to be given the opportunity to work with whoever gets elected in November, and I hope to work hard for the people of Guam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hafaday. My name is Senator Will Parkinson, and I am #1 on the ballot on the Democratic side of the aisle. I am once again asking for your vote for re-election back into the legislature. As your senator, I have to say it has truly been an honor and a privilege this first term. And I absolutely love my job. I love the things I could do for the people, and I love being your senator. And that if you re-elect me, I will come back with the same enthusiasm to fight for you day in, day out that I have always brung. I've always believed that Guam should do everything it can to always advance into the future, to always advance into greater prosperity, and I will always make sure that as long as I'm in this office, when I leave, Guam will be better than when I found it. And with your help, I hope to get back into the legislature. So please vote for me, #1, Will Parkinson. Thank you.
Senator Parkinson, Senator Duenas, Senator San Agustin, and Mr. Borja, thank you all for your time here today. And you can make it count by hitting the polls this primary on when? August 3rd. Remember, catch us here on The Hub next Wednesday to hear from more of your senatorial candidates. I'm Nick Delgado. Remember, you can always visit KUAM.com for all